Greetings this evening of your time as you create time to exist. And believe me, you are perfect creators of your time. Allow me to begin by entitling this interaction, if you will, Getting Off the Fence. As we interact with your society and discuss primary principles of consciousness, primary principles of the creation of and from consciousness, many of the ideas that we discuss can be very simply expressed. For the idea is, once again and for the first time, that you do create the reality that you perceive yourself to exist within. And as your consciousness does expand, you do recognize that the reality that you formerly believed yourself to have existed within exists within you. Much as you say, awakening in your morning from your nighttime sleeping dream. A discrete experience, a concrete experience, which you then realize beyond the shadow of a doubt must have occurred within you. This particular waking dream that we all, in a sense, share is no different. And in a blatant way, upon what you call physical death, you do understand this as your consciousness once again expands and your understanding expands to again understand that your body exists within your consciousness, not the other way around. Now, because all truths are fundamentally true to the individuals that believe them, I understand that the apparency of existing within a body, when you adopt it or adapt it, can be quite compelling. It truly seems that you are within your body, but that is the degree of your power to create, and that is the degree of your ability to experience an apparency, to experience a particular truth that you choose. All truths are true, and the one that you express, the one that you buy into from all the truths that exist within you, is the truth or the belief, if you will, that then allows you to create an effect which reinforces that belief, reinforces that truth. So we speak about beliefs resulting in emotions, resulting in thoughts, resulting in actions, and the actions in a physical reality, creating the reality, allowing the circumstances to, so to speak, move into place. You truly do not have one belief and not have the opposite belief, and must get rid of one belief and get the other one. For again, as I have started out by saying, you contain it all. It is all within you. So were you to get rid of something, where would you put it? Were you to gain something, where would you gain it from? There is no outside unless you are assuming that there is. Through that belief, feeling that there is, thinking that there is, acting that there is, and then reinforcing that particular truth, that there is or can be an outside. This is the degree of your great power to create your reality. Therefore, because you contain all beliefs, it is not a matter of utilizing an emotion, for instance, to decide which belief you have, because as I have said, you have all beliefs. What it determines when you trace backward is which belief you are expressing from the infinity of beliefs that you contain. So when I say belief results in emotion, emotion results in thought, and thought results in actions, you can also trace backwards. You always act as though you think, as though you feel, as though you express a belief. And the understanding that you contain all beliefs and express but perhaps one, which brings along with it several others at a time, allows you in your power to gather yourself back to understand that it is really quite simple to simply change your expression. For it is not that you need to get a new belief, you have them all. So if you feel something, an emotion, it is the result of which belief you are expressing in that moment. That is why you feel a particular way in any given moment. Feelings do not exist within a vacuum. You do not just feel that way just because. You can label it that way. You can create an apparency such as that. But if you decide that you wish to establish who you are consciously, to be who you are consciously, you can use these things, emotions, thoughts, and actions, as a mirror or a reflection for the belief that you are expressing. You create your reality in a particular way. You express a belief, feel as though you believe it, think as though you believe it, act as though you believe it. The actions create the reality. The actions reinforce the belief that you are expressing. But we will simplify this still further. In any given moment, you simply decide who you are. You make a decision, sometimes based on the fact that you feel there is no other choice, and other times understanding that there are many choices. But once you decide who you are, you feel that way. You think that way. You act that way. Another way to put this is when you have decided who you are, you trust in that decision. And then you act as though you trust in that decision. I have presented this particular delineation before. The reason being because it is quite useful. This is how you are already doing it. And when you say and understand that you make a decision, this implies there are other choices. This implies that you can decide something else. This is where you can express what you refer to as free will, but only if you first acknowledge that you have something to do with the process, that you, in and of yourself, are involved in the process of creating your life. We have briefly discussed 3 general phases of transformation from being a completely limited being that believes they exist within a reality to creating your reality consciously and through less limitation, less separation, more integration according to preference. The 3 phases are very simply kept to awakening, phase 1. Perhaps again you can say awakening is simply the notion that, well, is it possible that I might maybe not even create my own entire reality, but have some minute degree of decision or choice in how it plays out? That can be as subtle as awakening itself. Now, this generally will expand to, well, perhaps I actually have more than just a little to do with it, until it full blossoms to, you mean I create my own reality? Even entertaining that notion is part and parcel of an awakening from an unconscious style of creation to a conscious style of creation. So phase 1, the awakening is simply again knowing that there is a choice, knowing that there even may be options. Phase 2 is the acceleration of this idea, accelerating once you have accepted the notion that perhaps you create your own reality, and you accelerate this awareness through attraction. You attract to yourselves through the desire to be a conscious creator, through the desire to create your life in a particular preferential, integrated way, the knowledge, the resources, the timing, the individuals who will allow you to assist yourself in accelerating this awareness, in expanding this awareness. And you then attract the notions, the tools, the attitudes, the orientations that allow you to understand that only have very small, yet rigid assumptions resulted in the aspects of your life occurring that you do not prefer. Nothing overwhelming or bigger than you, because nothing can be bigger than you. It exists within you. You are the biggest thing around, so to speak. So that acceleration will generally occur as very small seeming ideas. When you apply these small ideas, however, they replace the more limiting, very small other ideas and make great, grand, sweeping changes in the face of your life. So acceleration is simply the process of beginning to move faster, but you are only moving from yourself to more of yourself. You are not becoming anything better than anything that you have already been, for you are always a complete expression in any given moment. Again, if it is misery, it is complete and perfect misery. It is an expression of your creatorhood. But again, that is generally a product of unconsciously creating, automatically creating without any thought, which again takes simple and small notions for granted that when you seem to perpetuate, give a certain limiting effect. When you are in the phase of acceleration, you attract the knowledge that allows you to begin to transform or replace many of these small limiting notions with more empowering ones. For again, you contain them all. You do not need to get rid of these old dated ideas and obtain new ideas. You simply choose to express the ideas that are now more representative of who you choose to be. For when you awaken to the idea that you can be who you wish to be, you then again created the ability to accelerate that awareness, to begin to expand yourself according to preference. When this goes beyond mere theory and beyond mere wishful thinking, you enter into the final phase of transformation, which is simply being the person that you prefer to be, without middle steps. You automatically then insert the very small notions that create your own reality anyway, according to preference, because they are who you are, who you desire to be. So because you already function this way, there is nothing really new to master or learn. Simply begin to allow yourself to consciously attract the knowledge, to begin to create your reality consciously according to preference. So in as much as you already create the circumstances of your life through, as I have said before, just deciding you are a particular way, trusting that you are a particular way, or having faith or having complete conviction that you are a particular way, and then acting as though you trust you are that way, you can use your free will, you can use your preference, you can use your desire to decide anew, to decide according to preference. You do not truly have a momentum of being a certain way that you need to overcome. You create yourself discreetly right now, whenever it is. It is always right now, even right now, always. That right now and your ability to absolutely make the decision to do from what's available right now, the thing that is most representative of who you choose to be, is your point of power itself. is what tells you, well, if I can change right now, and I do change right now, that momentum is just an illusion. For if there were such a thing as momentum, it would go past right now. I would not be able to change right now. So either there is momentum or you completely create in the moment. Now, more accurately, because you contain it all, both are true. And rather than allow this to overwhelm and confound you, look at this as choices. For if both are true, it is not a matter of proving one or the other. It is a matter of choosing. Do I wish there to be a momentum that I have to overcome, which creates the necessity for perpetuating a past and the effect from that past, the locomotive train of that past going right past this particular moment? Or do I choose to understand that right now is the only moment that I function from? And if I choose, by the way, to buy into the past having an effect, I am doing so right now. And it is not actually the past that has an effect. It is me saying right now that the past has an effect. Right now, I will therefore assume that the future must be a result of that past. That small notion, this small understanding, is why you create the apparency that the past has anything to do with right now, because you just decide, right now, my present is a result of my past, and therefore my future is dictated by needing to reconcile that past. But you are doing so right now. You are just deciding, you are trusting in that decision, and then you act completely according to that trust. And you perpetuate the apparency of a momentum. You perpetuate the apparency of a past having anything to do with now and the next now and the next now. The past does not drip from now to now. You recreate each now. And that is your point of power. That very small, minute understanding. Because once you begin to understand the sensefulness of what I am saying, you will understand that right now, you can choose something else. You can, all right, get off of that train. Therefore, right now, you can decide who you prefer to be. Right now, you can decide who you desire to be. And right now, you can decide to be that person. I decide to be this. Now, as I have said, when you already create your reality, you make a decision. You trust in that decision, and you act according to the trust in that decision. Should you choose right now to be the person that you desire, and understand that you can trust that decision, everything begins to look different from quote unquote this point forward, or each now, successive now, because you no longer look at it as the older version of you would look at it. If you trust that you have changed, you will look at it from the changed self. Perhaps at first you will strive to do so. You will reach to do so. You will perhaps seem to perform an effort to do so. But you will always be able to do so. You will always be able to see each situation that you used to label from your older perspective, from the new perspective, if you simply trust that you are the changed self. Now, as I have said, it is always the actions that create the reality. So once you trust that you have changed, you will act according to that trust. And those actions will be far different than the older decision, the older trust, and the older actions. So you cannot help but get a different result using the exact same mechanism you have always used. Decision, trust, action. This leads me to the so-called fence and getting off that fence, should you choose. We never insist that you grow more than you wish to, that you expand more than you wish to, that you have too much fun, that you are too happy. Never do we insist this. Would not be so presumptuous. It is up to you. But it is an option. When you decide I have changed, when you trust or say you trust that I have changed, but you act the same old way, you are not acting as though you trust you have changed. And you are perpetuating the older version of yourself. And then generally saying, well, I'm doing that because of the so-called past, but the older you or the older version of you is the only one who would even think about a past having anything to do with the present. And basically using, by the way, the past as an excuse. Thinking that you are using it to accelerate, but actually using it as an excuse to perpetuate the things you do not prefer. Because you have this complete free will in the moment, you always have the choice not to act, not to move until you align yourself to your new decision and to your new trust. But ultimately, nothing will change until you move. Therefore, you can theorize, you can summarize, you can capsulize who you prefer to be. And while you are doing so, colloquially speaking, you are sitting on the fence, as you say. Not until you act on the decision, through the trust that you have changed, can you actually get the desired result. Can you actually get the evidence, the reinforcement of the new decision? Exactly along the same lines that you got the reinforcement of the old decision. So getting off the fence is your willingness to act upon the trust of the new decision. I desire to be this person because this is what I am excited about within myself. This is how I picture I would like to be. Generally, you will find individuals wish to exist in such a way where they can exercise their great power to be of service to themselves, to enjoy themselves, and to also be of service to others. The idea of integrity is simply the understanding that if individuals and society and your reality exists within you, then it is all an extension of you. And the integrated approach is to treat everything in this way, which generally translates to respect for the other reflections and aspects of yourself. Acting upon what moves you, acting upon who you know yourself to be, with that understanding of integrity can only benefit you and can only benefit those around you and can only benefit your planet itself, your society itself. Being who you truly desire to be will allow you to express integrity and at the same time get what you want. We speak about defining yourself through feedback from your reality. When you are in a particular right now moment, right now, only certain things are available. In any right now moment, only are there unique opportunities and advantages, things that are available only in that moment. And always will you choose, only can you choose in the way you create yourselves as linear beings from what's available. So you can use whatever system you wish to use in that now moment to determine which thing you choose. The less preferred approach is to use desperation and the assumption that you are drowning and that you must grasp onto anything that will allow you to not drown. The most integrated approach, the approach that will allow you to express who you prefer to be, is what you generally colloquially refer to as your excitement or your passion or the thing that attracts you most from what's available in any given moment. You will always see in a given moment that something stands out more than anything else. Having made the decision to be the person you choose to be, you have the option to use that feedback system, use that vibration within you of what's available. This is most me. And if it is possible to act upon that thing with integrity, only can that particular choice be most representative of who I am and be my greatest opportunity in the moment. If something should excite me and I cannot act upon it with integrity, that is the external reality feedback that that particular option is not most me, because acting upon my excitement without the integrity is not what I'm all about, should you again assume this position. So if you can act upon something with integrity and do it, you get a certain result. If you can't act upon something with integrity and push that aside because you will not stand for that, there will still be a set of options. One will still stand out more than the others, and you will find one that you can act upon with your integrity. This is the feedback system that your reality sets up that allows you to directly access what you call the choice, or perhaps the most likely choice of what you refer to as your higher self. That is why something moves you more than anything else that's available. And again, if you can act upon it with integrity, the reality is showing you through an elaborate set of feedback that that choice is most you. When you act according to what is most you in every given moment, you create an effect. First of all, in that moment, you create the feeling that of all things that are available, this is correct for me. This is the thing that I can do most effortlessly because it is most representative of who I am. By establishing who you are in the moment, you rule out other possibilities. You get that instantaneous feeling and knowingness that this is most me. You also create what you call a causal and effect seeming phenomena in your reality. So when you act upon something in a moment, there even seems to be another echo effect in what you call a successive now moment. So you have a set of options. You act upon that option. You get an immediate effect. What you put out is what you get back instantaneously. But the way that your reality, a characteristic of your reality, is that you also get an echo reflection of that, generally approximately 3 days down the line. Now, if you are acting upon your integrity, if you are acting with your excitement, you get that instantaneous understanding, knowingness, and gratification. And then 3 days later, generally, this is very general, there is a positive effect from the action that you have took, because your reality is similar to the domino effect, where when you take an action, it results in a cascading of other actions, which then generally brings another effect down the line. So 3 days later, you come upon a circumstance, and if you have acted from your integrity and excitement, that circumstance seems compellingly positive. The adverse is also true. When you act according to obligation, something perhaps that doesn't excite you, something perhaps that is not within your integrity, you immediately get that effect in that moment. But again, approximately 3 days down the line, there is some other physical effect from that as well, from the successive set of actions, putting into play, as I have said, a cascading effect in your reality. 3 days later, something seems to happen which would seem negative. Now, I remind you once again, all events are actually a neutral set of props. You assign the meaning, and the meaning you assign determines the effect you get out of it. Certain things, however, do seem to be more compellingly easy to label negative, and certain things would seem more compellingly easy to label positive. And what I am sharing is that the reason that this happens is that this is the echo from being who you are, being positive, acting with integrity, or not. The point of all this is as follows. When you begin to get off the fence and act according to who you are, with your integrity, with your excitement, continuously, flawlessly, without interruption, without pause. 3 days later, and 3 days later, and 3 days later, there is an accumulative effect. There is an accumulative echo of neutral events, which would seem more overwhelmingly easy to label positive. When you continually do things that do not excite you and are not representative of who you choose to be, the opposite happens. Things come along which seem to be very negative. If you do both, sometimes what is representative of who you are and sometimes not, which is generally what most of you do, you will experience things that come along that seem quite positive, things that come along that seem quite negative, and there to be somewhat of a balance of the two. Now, how you act upon any circumstance 3 days later then determines what happens in that moment and 3 days later than that. So, should you have something occur today from a negative thing that you have done 3 days ago, but you understand one moment I have decided I am a positive-oriented being, and therefore I understand that this is neutral. And yes, I can say why me and get the negative meaning out of it and then get another negative effect right now and 3 days later. Or I can say, how is this of service to me now that I have decided to be the person that I desire to be, get immediately a positive effect from, by the way, a seemingly negative action in the past, so to speak, and then create 3 days later a positive reflection or effect. So at any point you can head off the process. But what I am sharing is that when you continuously act as who you are, get off the fence and act as though you trust that you are the person you prefer to be, you start getting a continual effect of everything that seems to happen to you is overwhelmingly easy to label positive, without any of the seeming more easily labeled negative circumstances happening. When you begin to be who you choose to be continuously, the effect of that is an explosion of ecstatic coincidence, of things being delivered to you through the strangest and least expected of paths. The reason for the peppering of the negative seeming occurrences is because of the peppering of the negative choices in the moment. And you can decide to no longer do this. You can decide, just decide, to be who you prefer to be, to act according to who you know yourself to be with integrity, flawlessly. The universe always supports any decision that you make. And you have noticed that when you make decisions according to, perhaps you can say, obligation rather than who you know yourself to be, you still get along. You still seem to support yourself, though, as you say, generally by the seat of your pants, if you wear them. You may also understand that the universe is just as flawless when you do what excites you, what is representative of who you are, and still creates that support, still creates that abundance. And in fact, the abundance seems to increase because it's now allowing you to continue to be who you are. If something that you are perpetuating seemingly through making decisions in the now moment keeps resulting in you making a decision of not being in who you are in the moment, sometimes the universe will, through feedback, withhold abundance so that you simply cannot continue to do that. And therefore, abundance at best seems to be a slippery thing. For it is the result of being who you are, not being who you are, being who you are, and finally you saying on some level you wish to always be who you are, so the universe delivers whatever messengers will allow you to come back to that center, and often this will take the place of having no money, no abundance, so you simply cannot continue to do the things that are no longer representative of who you choose to be. When you choose to be who you are consciously with your head held high, the universe supports you completely. The universe allows you and delivers to you everything that you need in order to continue to be who you are. And the reason that the universe does this, by the way, is because you are the universe and you treat yourself with that respect. I use the terminology universe, again, as a feedback, but all reality exists within you, each and every one of you. A paradox, still though, it is an aspect of infinity within reality. Each one of you experiences yourself as the universe. And though it would seem like this could not exist at the same time, you are thinking in finite terms, and the universe is infinite. God is infinite. All that is, as we refer to God, is infinite. You are infinite. You are experiencing finite reality within the infinity of who you are. Your willingness to get off the fence, to act according to the trust of who you prefer to be because you say so, because you'll settle for nothing less, if for no other reason because you're completely sick and tired of being who you're not, is all that it takes to completely transform your life, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, not in 10 years, not when you retire, but right now. The only experiential moment, right now, as valuable as any other time. In fact, it is the only time. Right now, all ideas within you can carry equal weight. What you have been is different from what you now choose to be, is different from perhaps what you will seem to become in another successive now moment. But it is all equal. What you are is not better than what you have been, is not worse than what you will be. Now, I understand that you can choose to look at it that way, and you can create that effect. But again, you just decide to do so, you trust that, you act that way, and boom, you get that effect. But if you allow everything to be equal, if you understand what I have been has allowed me to get to this point, so obviously it was completely valuable, then you will not forsake any part of yourself. Who you were, who you will be are simply, as you delineate yourself into parts of yourself, but it is all you. And you are all one homogeneous whole being with no better or worse parts. Yes, you have less integrated and more integrated experiences. You make and assume less integrated and more integrated choices. You create less integrated and more integrated realities, but they are all equal. You may find that you prefer integrated reality. It is more effortless. It is more reinforcing. It is more supportive. It is plain and simply more fun. But it is no better than anything else. I remind you that anything that we share, we do not present as better than what you are doing. You are flawlessly and perfectly creating yourself right now. But you are all within the accelerated phase of your personal transformation. So you are attracting knowledge. You are attracting resources. I am functioning as one of those resources, as one of those reflections of knowledge. I will not say source of knowledge because you contain it all. I cannot give you anything you do not already have. And were I to hand you something you didn't have, you wouldn't make sense of it. So if you are understanding anything I say, that is a reinforcement that you already contain it. You already contain everything you need to continue to be who you prefer to be with integrity, to create the life that you desire with integrity. You have enough power to create your reality completely according to preference without harming yourself or anyone else. That is the degree of the power that you have. And we have as well. In our society, we choose to express this as perhaps you can say the common choice. Not that we take it for granted, for we constantly revel in the wonders of creation, but that is simply how we function without, as you say, thought. It is our foundation. But it is also available as your foundation, or you would not have attracted me. I am simply, again, a reflection of your timing, a reflection of the knowledge that you are now willing to look at within yourself. To simply step from the acceleration of the awareness of your power to the beingness, to the final phase of transformation of who you prefer to be. All you need to do is decide who you prefer to be, trust that you are already that person, and begin acting that way. Therefore, allow me to thank you for your willingness to allow me to share in your exploration. I understand from my perspective that you exist within me. It works across the board. So as I discover through anything that you share with me, anything, no matter how large or minute, that I had not been aware of before, that allows me to know that much more of myself. I get something out of this as well. You have much to offer, not only yourselves, but each other. In fact, you all have everything you need to make such an offering. Therefore, I respect and am honored by your choice, in that it includes me. If only for this interaction, all well and good. I get enough in every moment from whoever I interact with in any given moment. I understand that I always have what I need when I need it. So if something is not available, I know I don't need it. And I do not look for it. I simply ground myself to what is available and get off the fence and move. Therefore, I know this works. But I do not insist that you believe me, because I cannot prove it to you other than allowing you to prove it to yourself by allowing you to be aware of it. But only because you are ready. Only because it is your timing. As you individually expand, as you societally expand, you will become aware not only of more of yourself, not only more of your planet, not only more of your history, but more of what you call the multiverse or universe as well. And this is why the awareness of what you call extraterrestrial consciousness is now becoming more accelerated in your society. And it shall continue to accelerate. You will hear more and more about the various societies that are in contact with your society, but we do not assume that we are better than you. We know you are equal to us. We know you are masters at acting like we are better, but we do not buy into that ourselves. We know you are our equals. You will generally hear people refer to us through the beliefs that they choose to express, which still may be just a little bit disempowered. So therefore, we'll hear all types of things about us. But the bottom line is we are simply beings, such as yourself, who respect each other and respect you so greatly that we honor your choices, we honor your sovereignty. We will only interact with you to the degree that you agree to interact with us. Now, many of you will express that agreement unconsciously, but you can use the feedback of the physical occurrences in your relationship to understand what your agreements and decisions and choices are. One thing I will tell you is this: because we view you as equals, we do not believe you are drowning and need saving. We do not believe in beaming you up. We honor your choices and we honor the courage in which you create, many times, some of the negative aspects of your reality. We do not choose to create those negative aspects in ours, but can be aware of them through you. So this does us service, for the more awareness, the more expansion, the more we know of ourselves, and the more we may understand what we continue to not choose to do. But you as a society are beginning to accelerate in a positive way. And what you are seeing are the remnants of the negativity kicking up in a way to show you, in no uncertain terms, the futility of the negativity. It will never allow you to advance yourselves or your society to make negative choices in terms of coexisting. But no matter what choice you make, you will always benefit, for you will always have a discrete, distinct, valid experience, and you will incorporate that into your wholeness. There is nothing any worse about negative choices, but less integrated choices result in less integrated experience, which you generally refer to as negative or bad. Therefore, in honoring your timing and in honoring the sovereignty of your choices, many of you have attracted the ability to communicate with us in methodologies such as this. And if individuals are communicating our stream of thought accurately, you will hear this respect. You will hear the honoring of your creatorhood. And the other descriptions that you hear of us through various sources are assumptions from negative points of view, from disempowered explorations. Now understand, they are just as real to the people who are creating them. But that is not our intention. I can only tell you of our intention. You always have an intention when you interact with another, but never can you truly be responsible for how they take it. It will always be up to them. We do not desire to overwhelm you. We desire to share with you as equals. And this is why our timing is contingent upon your granting of equality to yourselves. Your granting of equality to yourselves, your unconditional self-love, will automatically echo out and reflect to those around you. It will have a societal impact, and it will happen quite quickly. That is the basis in which we can physically interact with you. But at that point, since you will have been acting as an integrated being, what we have to offer will not be any better than what you are already creating. It will be different. It will enrich it, but not be better. And we do not desire to be an escape from the so-called hell that some of you create down here. No, that is your choice. When individuals decide that they believe in us from the perspective of, take me out of here, in general, we will not reinforce their own feelings of helplessness by appearing and doing so. Only when you approach us understanding that you have your own life and that it is valid and it is completely equal, do we desire to then co-create and share with you in a physical way. So therefore, this can happen quite quickly, for as I have said, when you on an individual basis accelerate your awareness, there is a rippling effect that can be quite fast or quick in terms of what you call time frame. But not one moment sooner, we would be doing a disservice in interacting with you in a way that reinforces your feelings, your choice of feeling helpless in any given situation. So I thank you for indulging me in explaining the difference. Therefore, I can remain either something that you will believe in or not believe in, and in that way will not take away from your power. Now, when you make your decisions and choices and create your own reality in a conscious way, you will be so similar to me and my society and the many other societies who are, shall I say, interacting in certain ways with your society already, similar enough for us to walk upon common ground, but not until. Therefore, I thank you for your willingness to open up these possibilities through the format of these types of interactions, where we can still remain equal to you, and you can still retain your ability to decide what you wish to decide about what is going on. I know I am real, so therefore do not need anyone else's validation about my reality. I also know that from my perspective, you all exist within my imagination anyway. So it is simply a matter of perhaps you can say where you are sitting, or in my case, lying, and it is all equal. For your honoring me with your willingness to share who you are with me, I thank you. I bid you my most unconditionally loving posture and ask you how we may mutually be of service to each other through sharing. Hey, Smail.
Elan, how are we doing?
Now, were you here for the introduction?
Yes, I would.
Then you tell me, for your decision will then result in your trust and your action and your reinforcement. How are you doing?
We're doing perfectly.
All right. Do you really mean that?
Yes, I really mean that.
All right. Next question.
Elan, while what we're doing now, what we're choosing now is as good a choice or as valid an experience as any, it does appear that a more expanded reality, such as you and yours experience, is preferable. It may not be any better, but from our point of view, sometimes it seems better.
But when you say preferable, you assume we are somewhere you are not. So you are just deciding right here, right now, I am not, he is, I will go over there, which is, as I have just explained, not how you will be able to walk with us.
I understand.
So allow these distinctions to sink and settle in. That is why we make them. That is why we choose the timing for making them, and rephrase your interacting with me from your new perspectives, from what we have shared this evening.
May I ask, from your perspective, what is the fundamental reason why we have chosen this experience of limitation?
Because it allows you to discover, because it allows you to learn, because it allows you to experience things as if for the first time, and it allows you to then become more of yourself in a joyous way. That is one reason.
I see.
Now, another reason may simply be because it's available. When you are an infinite being, you will sample things simply because they are there. Do you understand that distinction?
Yes, I do.
One of the ways we have phrased this is that anything that creation does not forbid, it demands. That is why you cannot imagine non-reality. Anything you can imagine by virtue of the fact that you can imagine it exists on some level.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Shutting.
Elan,
Yes.
what's up, dude?
Well, it depends upon the gravitic field of the planet. Upon my craft, it is quite arbitrary.
How do you feel?
Perfect, ecstatic, joyful, gratified.
Thank you.
Will that do?
That's perfect for me.
Do you wish to feel that way as well?
I do. I know.
Are you oming? All right.
I didn't have to hesitate. I just felt like I already do. And I'm coming to terms with that.
All right. As you say, happy trails.
So, sitting on the fence, I have been.
Does it hurt, by the way?
Yeah, my butt's getting a little sore. I'm definitely ready to make the jump for the leap.
All right. No more buts. Simply because you say so.
Yes. And I definitely do thank you, by the way, for bringing this to attention. It's definitely been a burning issue for me in the past 3 weeks.
Well, did not mean, as you say, to be so long-winded.
Yeah.
But there are so many things to discuss.
Sure is. I've decided that I've liked the view on top of the fence, though.
Well, all right. You may sit there as long as you wish.
I know.
But as you say, you may wish to understand that I will be quite colloquial. That you may not wish to bitch while you are sitting. Either sit and enjoy the view or get off the fence.
Okay.
Now, did not mean to offend anyone who might find that type of verboseness offensive.
We're used to it.
Simply utilizing what's available through the channel.
I guess it's...
All right, no offense to the channel as well.
I was going to say, that's quite an interpretation on his part.
Oh, all right.
But that's interesting, yeah, because we've been talking about that.
So either enjoy the view or jump down. You can always get back up. You will not lose the fence, I assure you. The fence is perhaps, again, the in-between state between the trust and the action. And perhaps sometimes we'll give the best view before you act. But again, continually simply sitting there can be a bit painful in terms of that you are resisting the movement of your reality.
Absolutely. And I know that I'm coming to terms with that trust. That's what I'm doing. I'm trusting my timing because it's a little painful, but I'm trusting the timing.
All right, coming to terms. So it is happening. So when will it occur? When will you decide in a given moment? Now. For what you are saying and how you are speaking implies later.
Well, that's my next question then.
Oh, all right.
This is my question. Is that, okay, when you, is it, let's say there's
May I ask you a question? Oh, all right.
All right, you know what I'm going to ask, so go ahead. You can ask. But
If you are already the person that you desire to be, would your actions be different? Yes or no? No ums.
yes.
All right. You are that person. Get moving. See you later. That is how simple it is. And I will allow you to look at that.
Let me ask my question.
All right.
In contrast, if you act on something that excites you out of integrity and compare it to doing something that doesn't quite excite you, but it's in your integrity, is there a comparison, a contrast there?
Well, both are settling for less than who you are. So we'll have varying degrees of effect, but will still, perhaps you can say, in a sense, fall short of what you truly desire.
Okay, because I've been doing my work. It feels really good to make the money, so I can take it. It's very exciting to me to pay my bills.
All right, but you are assuming from the way you are speaking that being completely who you are would not pay the bills.
Yes.
Why?
Because
Why do you rigidly hold on to this and clench it?
it's our society. In the
All
past,
right,
2 months.
the society. All right.
Society.
What other excuses can you come up with?
Society has a jail, you know what I mean?
All right. Are you going to lock yourself up understanding that the key is in your own pocket, though? By blaming the society, externalizing your power and using the society as an excuse. It is available. Of course it is the society if you say so. That is the point.
No.
But do you wish it to be? I assume no.
No.
Do you want it to be? I assume no. Do you want to find excuses? I assume no. So you are the person you desire to be. Trust it, act that way, and see what happens.
Definitely a trust issue. It's fear too, I guess. I come to terms with.
All right, but when you say it is a trust issue, you are trusting. It is not doubt. It is an infinite trust that the thing that you don't prefer is most likely.
I've done it.
You've done what?
I don't want to say try, but I have experienced what we are saying here.
Which is what?
I had a negative effect, which is
You have not done what we are speaking of here and gotten a negative effect from that. You have alternately fluctuated and peppered your soup and perhaps are complaining about the pepper. But it was not from doing an exciting thing with integrity that you got a negative effect.
right.
Unless you say so. And it's absolutely insists that that is so.
Okay, because doing my work that's fulfilling my integrity, I'm excited about too. I'm building a house that's really fun. But at the end of the day, I'm a bag of bones. I need more time to be able to do this exciting thing, my project at home.
How can you do the exciting thing if you fill these so-called moments with the things that don't excite you? There's no time left.
Right. Exactly.
So you're making your choice. You're trusting your choice. You're acting through your trust. You're creating the effect.
So I can go a week or 2 weeks without any money. I don't know.
You are jumping from one thing to another.
It's just obvious. The physical reality is.
You are operating on an assumption
Yeah.
flawlessly. So I cannot argue with you, for you are absolutely correct. With that assumption, you will continue to get that effect. But it is not society.
Okay.
It is your assumption. Do you understand the distinction?
I do, but it's been.
More butts, all right?
No. Remember I said no more butts.
Then you said one.
I guess I'm shifting my perspective on this because I want to stay grounded. And I spent the last year with my head in the clouds. Now I'm grounded.
Grounded is simply choosing from what's available and doing that thing. That is grounding. That is being physical. That is moving around within your reality. That is off the fence. When you're off the fence and in the action phase, you are grounded by definition. What you are speaking about of head in the clouds without grounded, without feet on the ground, is thinking about it, imagining it, wishing it were so, and then acting completely opposite. You're grounding yourself, but you're grounding yourself to the thing you say you don't prefer.
So being a builder is something I've come to terms with. I
Come to terms. Does this mean settled for?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess so, but I know it excites me. There's a reason why I'm a builder in this life.
All right. What is the reason? What is the reason? I assume if you are going to say there is a reason, that the reason is not to be a builder and build things that make you miserable.
No.
Or attract situations and jobs that make you miserable. Yes, that is one way to express your buildership, if there is such a word. But that is not the way you desire to express it. So clarify your intention. Clarify your vision. To decide who you prefer to be, you clarify who you prefer to be. Sit down with yourself. How do you prefer to build? See yourself building, feel the joy, and see how you are building, what you are building. There is something there that you have not even considered.
Yeah. Is there more you can tell me?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, it's
Simply hand me all your Christmas presents and I will unwrap them for you. No. But I will give you the gift for you to unwrap. You have fixated upon stopping, fence-sitting. Begin to understand, all right, I know the building excites me. I know the way I am expressing it, at least partially, does not excite me. Some of the aspects of what I'm doing do excite me. Therefore, let me consider them. Now, what else would excite me that I am not doing, that I have not considered? Open the door. Do you understand?
as far as in the building.
If that is what we are discussing. It goes across the board to any interest or excitement that you have, but you brought up the building, so we'll go with that.
Because it has opened doors. It excites me to a level that it has. I've done it for, obviously, like you said, more than 3 days. And it did manifest something really surprisingly. It came out of nowhere. Somebody I'm in a partnership to perhaps buy some land that was very affordable to build a house, et cetera, et cetera. So that will line up a means of more money later.
My suggestion is simply this. Begin to explore a particular way to apply this forte, this strength of yours, in a way that you have not considered. For now, stay with that, if you wish. All right?
Yes.
I thank you. That is the present. You get to open it. Here's the receipt. You can bring it back if you don't want it. Up to you. For now, that will do. I thank you. Shutting. Ace, female.
Well, this is a perfect topic because it's just where I've been in the last few weeks.
Oh, thank you. They all are.
I decide it's absolutely time and I'm ready to jump in and swim.
All right.
And what I did was I made a decision that, yes, I can be doing what excites me I don't need anything else to happen in my life. I need to do it now, and I have every right to do it.
Have you made the decision that you are the person that you prefer to be right now?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that did not sound that convincing to me.
My life-
Let me ask you another question. Will you make that decision right now? Go ahead.
Yes.
All right, you've made it. It's done. Are you willing to trust it? Are you willing to look from anything that occurs from this point forward? Now that you know you've changed, are you willing to look at how you now will handle things from the changed you?
Well, let me explain my confusion.
All right, co-fusion, very exciting.
What I did was I put out to the universe, now that I know I want my life to be a reflection of what I believe I am about. And I got a lot of feedback. I got some opportunities within a week or so to act on that.
All right.
And I'm really excited about it. And here's where I get confused.
A fancy way of saying but. All right.
Yes. Let's take something very mundane in my life at this moment. I have decided that, or on some level, I would hope it'd be a complete level, I've decided that I don't need to be a victim anymore. I don't need to have scarcity in my life. My life needs to be a reflection of what I feel, which is abundance and love. So here I am with a very old car that's breaking down, and I'm trying to act from what's available. My confusion is with integrity. My confusion comes about with the word integrity, since I'm not necessarily sure at this point what's good for me, and if I trust that I will have abundance because I determine that that's a reflection of my being who I am, then I would go ahead and buy a new car and really not concern myself with how to make the payments.
Is that your only option? And is that the you who you prefer to be speaking?
Well, I
Or does that not really tickle your funny bone?
tickle my funny bone?
Excite you?
Well, that's the confusion, because the car is falling apart, and I'm not sure what my options are with integrity. I'm getting very confused about it.
Do you, as you say, require a new vehicle?
Yeah.
Are you driving to a job that you desire?
No.
Ah,
Well, I know that.
all right. So the universe is providing you the opportunity to look at that. And perhaps you have created a methodology through which you may become unable to actually get to an expression that is no longer representative of who you are.
Well, the job that I'm doing is really showing me every day how much that is not a reflection of who I am.
All right. Now, have you determined who you are?
By who I am, yes,
All right.
a lot of levels.
Have you taken steps or allowed yourself to begin in any way that is available to attract the, shall I say, outlet for expressing that aspect of yourself?
Yes, it just happened
Just when?
this week.
All right. So things are moving in that direction, yes?
Well, a workshop.
Are you able to do more than that? Are you able to put as much of your concentrated intention into this as you have into the thing that is not representative of who you choose to be? Do you see the difference in your willingness to dive in?
I understand what you're saying. I'm not completely sure of how I translate that into action.
What more can you be doing? And simply stating that there is more that you desire to do is clarifying your, perhaps you can say, order to the universe.
Okay, I am.
Are you spending, shall I say, a preponderance of your time doing the thing that doesn't excite you? All right. So you do not even have the time to do the thing that does, yes?
Yes, what I'd like to do is quit my job and contemplate my life and get into workshops and spend more time doing what I think I'm about.
All right.
But I don't trust that the universe will support me the day I quit.
Well, I am not suggesting that everyone here simply quit their job tomorrow. You can still utilize the reflection of what you have created and function from what is available with integrity. But I am suggesting that in deciding who you are, what it is you know yourself to be, to put at least as much time and as much diligence and as much conviction into attracting and allowing yourself to research and allowing yourself to explore where you can begin to take action steps toward the thing that does excite you. Your willingness to dive into that degree will allow you to perhaps more comfortably segue from one to the other. We'll be getting off the fence.
I thought by this workshop that I'm trying to get to in a few weeks was my actions.
Well, it is one action, absolutely. But what do you do from now till then? Do you be who you are not from now till then? Because when you get there, then you will decide to be who you are, then you will trust it, then you will act, then you will create. That is your choice. But you need not spend your time, and I will use the word spend, for it is seeming that you are running out in that way if you simply choose now. Now, if you are the person that you desire to be right now because you say so, you will keep your eyes out for any reflection in your reality that allows you to act upon that right now, each now. Always from everything that's available, we would at least look to see if there is one option that will move you in that direction. And if there is, use your excitement and your integrity to decide whether to act on it or not. If both are in place, it will be quite simple to do so.
I should call Vinny.
No shoulds. You do whatever you know is the change, the preferred you acting. Trust as though you have already changed and see what happens. Allow the reality to deliver new options. What happens when you change your perspective is what is available in the moment changes. And as you act upon who you are in the moment, even in the most mundane of ways, those actions create reflections that change what's available in the moment. And this applies to the last male individual that we spoke to as well.
May I ask you one more question about finances? That seems to be one of the biggest hang-ups.
All right.
So in translating this into more concrete action, if I'm feeling great scarcity by the bills coming in and what I have coming in, and I want to believe I'm changed, but obviously part of me isn't changed because I'm feeling scarcity.
Now that is the older perspective and the trust in the older perspective, using an external source as evidence that you have not changed. That is not trusting in the change. Do you have obligations that you have agreed to meet?
Yes.
Do you intend to meet them?
I guess I do.
Do you or don't you?
Yes.
Is it your desire to be able to meet them effortlessly?
Oh, yes.
Is the you that you desire to be able to do that effortlessly?
Yes.
All right. Get excited about it. That is what you will get when you act that way. For you are defining that you, and that you meets those obligations effortlessly. Now, if one of the things available in the moment is not paying that bill, the you that knows you can effortlessly pay that bill does not fret about the fact that they cannot pay it, simply understands in this moment it is not an option, but I fully intend to pay it. And I intend to create my reality in such a way where I can pay it when it comes in, even though I cannot pay it right now, and it has came in. So you reassert who you are, reaffirm who you are, act upon what is available, which then repositions you, paradoxically, to pay the bills.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You have created it. At this timing, we will pause for a short break of 10 to 15 minutes of counting and resume contact at that timing. All right, I'll say, continue shedding. Ace female.
Please answer this question.
Perhaps, maybe.
Thank you. It's not, well, yes, it would be part of my life. You see twins in the future.
Unusual question. One moment. Since it becomes difficult for me to distinguish between actual and metaphoric, I can only say there is a likelihood behind it. I cannot be any more definite than that, for this can mean many things. Is there some specific reason that you are asking me?
Yes, my daughter's expecting, and possibly the doctor's not quite sure.
All right. Do you desire that?
Yes.
All right. Well, I thank you for at least allowing me to scan. Is there anything else you wish to share?
Yes. Please, I'm very complex. Help straighten me out.
Well, all right. Do you judge yourself for being so complex?
Do I judge myself? Yes.
Why? Is there not a richness and a fullness in complexity?
Well, I believe so, yes.
All right. So when you judge yourself for being complex, are you assuming that you are making things too difficult for yourself?
Yes.
In what way?
Well, number one, in my own personal life, and number two, in my employment. I wish to make changes, and I've been listening to you this evening. And as you were speaking, I was mentally saying, yes, I want to change and I want to do these things. And yes, I have been reluctant to completely surrender, because here again, the monetary. I'm asking myself, do I trust myself enough to forego my employment and just throw everything to the winds in the hope that the universe will provide what I need?
Hope implies doubt. Now understand the following. What we are speaking of is not running from something that you no longer choose to be. It is walking toward what you do choose to be, which by definition will distance you from that which you no longer choose to experience. So you need not, again, run from the job. If you establish what it is you will prefer to do, then you will lay down a foundation, which again will automatically distance you from the, shall I say, less representative presentation of the job. What is it you would like to be doing? What is it that you see yourself doing that brings you joy, that excites you?
I want to be a grandmother to the twins.
All right. What else?
And I would like to lead a life of my own again.
All right. What would you wish to do to express your creativity in that life, other than what you have just mentioned?
Well, hopefully I would have a book published.
All right. Now, since I am asking you what you wish, you need not say hopefully, just tell me what it is you desire. You would like to have a book published, yes?
Yes.
Now, say that, if you wish.
I would like to have the book published.
Does that feel better than hopefully I will have a book published?
Oh, definitely.
All right. You have that degree of choice, and hopefully I will have a book published is far different from I desire to have a book published. That is what I was speaking of earlier about minor distinctions, minor changes in points of view. What is it that you would wish to write about?
I have written a book and I have submitted it to a New York publisher. It is a child's book.
All right. Have you submitted it, as you say, to more than one source, understanding that that is your desire, to have it put out there?
Yes, however, I have, my understanding, the procedure is you submit it to a publisher one at a time rather than having the manuscript scattered to more than one publisher.
All right. There are individuals present this evening of your time that, if you will allow yourself to attract, can begin to share with you some alternatives to that point of view. The idea being, if you know that that is who you are, if you know through choice, through decision, that that is what you choose to contribute, then there may be other ways that you have not looked at in terms of, shall I say, expanding the possibility of expressing that in the way that you desire. Now, do you wish on an ongoing basis to produce such works?
Yes.
Are you currently now engaged in producing something else?
I can best answer that in that, yes, I do have a lot of ideas for subsequent books on paper, but they're not completed manuscripts.
All right. Do you see yourself as a writer? Or do you see yourself as someone wishing to be a writer, understanding the distinction?
Both, because at one time I was told that there were entities that were wanting to, how shall I say, use me or come through me to write.
All right. Who told you this?
A gentleman in the area in the Northeast in Saybrook.
Did it ring true with you?
Yes.
So it is who you desire to be.
Yes.
Now, you are correct in saying that you contain both perspectives. I wish to be a writer and I am a writer. Which one would you prefer to express?
To be.
All right. Do you understand that a writer acts a particular way?
Yes.
Could you imagine that someone wishing to be a writer also acts a particular way? Would you imagine that the two ways are slightly different?
Yes.
All right. There lies the key to getting off the fence in being the writer versus wishing to be a writer. Decide you are a writer simply because it is who you choose to be, and you get the choice. Both exist within you, and none has either more weight than the other, again, unless you decide that it does. So choosing to be the writer, making the decision right now, I am a writer. Simply from this now moment forward, each now moment successively, trust that you are a writer, as opposed to trusting that you wish to be a writer. There is a complete distinction. And as you trust in your decision, as you trust that you are a writer, options will come along, and in fact, some which are already in place, as simple as sitting down and writing the next book. That's what a writer does. That will allow you to act as though you trust you are a writer. One who hopes to be a writer has ideas down on paper and does nothing with them. One that is a writer writes. Now, are you willing to be a writer to that degree?
Yes.
Happy writing.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, I have done nothing.
Oh, excuse me. To the previous to the question that follows mine, but may I please also ask you, Elan, to come and help me when I think of you. May I just say this? I read the article in the Connecting Link magazine, and as I was reading the words, I heard you speaking the words.
You may understand this. I am available. Now, I do not monitor individuals in your society. I'm too busy. But I trust when I'm moving through my reality, in my timing, which is far different than yours, my creation and experience of time is far different than yours, that a notion may occur to me, an individual at this moment is requesting some feedback from me. I will instantaneously transmit that feedback, and it will fall into the time frame of your reality. Now, it will be up to you to interpret what I am saying. The individual channeling me and the process surrounding what you call the channeling allows me to come through quite purely, where many of the desires and beliefs of the channel, or shall I say some, less and less, do not interfere with my intention. So therefore, understand, I will have something to say, and it will be up to you to interpret it. Never will I say you should be doing something. If you hear should, it is you misinterpreting what I am saying. Never will what I say take on the characteristic of suggesting that you are doing anything wrong. You are not. It would validate what you are doing, perhaps provide an alternative, perhaps provide a suggestion, but not insisting that you take that, not insisting that any of the aspect of our relationship depends on you being anyone but yourself. And even if you choose not to be yourself, I will love you anyway. That is what unconditional love is. So again, perhaps the long-winded answer to your question is yes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Female. Ace.
I have a very complicated question. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible.
More complexity, I welcome it.
Oh, good.
Understand, no matter how complex the question, the answer is generally quite simple. And complexity, again, is just the richness, but the mechanism is simplicity itself. Is that simple? Proceed.
I decided last year to go for my passion, which is to be an actress and dancer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But at the same time, I'm working for a major corporation. And while I was working full time, I took every dollar I had and all of my energies and focused it into pursuing the arts.
Pursuing? Is it getting away from you?
Oh, God. Okay.
Fair enough. Listen to your wording to aid yourself in realigning to preference and proceed.
Okay. I don't know how to say it now, but anyway,
Just say it.
Okay. I went for this whole profession and I absolutely loved what I was doing. And then my money ran out. I was robbed twice. My boyfriend got very sick, almost died. Everything that was in my life just sort of stopped. And I felt like the universe, I had put my whole financial self on the line.
On the line. So there was an underlying assumption that there was a tightrope to be walked, yes?
Yeah.
I simply mention this because the flavor of that would come out in your decision, your trust, and your action.
Okay.
Now, there is the notion of deciding to be the actress whose life simply works and flows effortlessly. That is also an option, and that brings different dynamics. But do proceed.
Well, in the midst of all this, being in such financial debt, I decided to start my own business to get out of the corporate situation so that I could have more time and flexibility and money to support the acting. And my business took off quite well, and I find that I'm very excited about it. But it's literally teaching people how to follow their excitement. And as I teach it, I say, well, I'm excited about doing this, but I'm not doing what I really want to be doing.
So in other words, in creating this dynamic with such a tightrope, you attract other individuals, assist them, and watch that it really works through others.
Oh, is that what I do?
Well, I am asking you.
Guess so.
Is that not one way to define it?
Well,
how much proof will you require externally before you simply decide to do that thing yourself? Now, again, I suggest to begin by redefining your decision. What is it exactly that you choose to be? Do you choose to be an actress at all cost? Or do you choose to be an actress effortlessly, effervescently, because it is who you choose to be? There is a distinction right there to begin with. And secondly, will you require external proof that excitement really works with integrity? Or do you not already understand this to be one of the truths that exist within you?
Are you asking me that as a question?
Up to you.
I guess I think you're right about the distinction between, I guess that my mind has always said someday I'm going to be this, and I've never said I am. Even I'd say to people, yes, I'm a dancer and an actress, but I haven't had the time or the energy to dance or act because I've been pursuing this other business, which is going well. Do I stop doing the other business and just totally focus on?
Well, not necessarily, for your excitement may take many forms. But the idea is not so much telling others you are an actress, but accepting it yourself.
Oh, that's true.
And that is where, at least in the instance that you have provided, you have not fully committed to yourself. I will be an actress based on an external criteria, rather than I am an actress, now allow the reality to find me. And the reality will find an actress, because there are no jobs for someone who will be an actress.
Oh, see, what you're saying is, well,
get off the fence.
Yeah. That's what I said when I walked in here. Okay.
Do you understand the distinction? I do not wish in that sense to simply provide an elaborate set of semantics and increase the complexity. I wish to narrow it down and simplify that a slight shift in perspective creates a reality around it, allows you to reinforce the expression of the effortless actress, and it is no effort to be who you are. It is quite an effort, however, to continually become something you are not.
That's so true.
You are an actress.
I am. See that?
Do you understand and have even what you have just said to me? Does that show you where you are still refusing to be an actress?
Yes.
You are holding on to it. There is nothing in that sense happening to you. You are holding on to it. You are an actress, are you not?
Yes, I am. Now.
Getting there. One moment. Are you sitting up straight?
No.
Do so, please, if you wish.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. An actress has a certain posture. Assume that posture. The posture that you imagine an actress would have. Eyes closed if you wish. Up to you. Now, someone who assumes that role in your society projects from themselves in a particular way that embodies conviction. They become someone else. Yes?
Yeah.
So for now, act like you're an actress. Sit up straight and say, you are auditioning for me right now. I am an actress, and have me believe it.
I am an actress. I think.
You are absolutely going to get the job of becoming an actress. Do you have an investment in not being an actress?
I really think I might, only because I've always been told that if you're an actress, then you're frivolous, or you're not helping people, or you're never going to survive. You're going to be bankrupt. And
All right. All that is true. All of it. But so is the fact that you can be an actress, contribute to society, create abundance, share that abundance to make the world a better place. Both are true. You need not assume one is true and the other is false, unless you wish. Now, sit up straight and understand that when you say to me, I am an actress, you are the type of actress you desire to be. Yes, that other type of actress exists. But as you say, big deal. It's not the type you wish to be, is it?
no.
All right. Can you imagine an actress that is positively abundant and that contributes through her trade and her conviction and her creativity to the enhancement of mankind and womankind? Can you imagine that?
Yes.
All right. Audition for me once again, being that actress, and say, I am an actress.
I am an actress.
How does that feel?
Much better.
Different from I am an actress, I think?
Yeah.
All right. That is what I mean by when you choose to express a belief, being very clear about defining it, being very clear about how you've already defined it, acknowledging the belief you have expressed, and then clearly defining the belief you wish to express and expressing it. As I began by saying, expressing a belief leads to an emotion. It feels better, does it not?
It feels much better.
Nice.
Now, you have not left your chair, and yet you have created both sets of emotions. When you said, I am an actress, I think, how did that feel?
Very insecure.
So you changed, you transformed your emotions through awareness, through choice, yes?
Yes.
Therefore, if you continue to be the actress you prefer, you will feel this more and more. And you will think differently because that is not attentive hesitant presentation. And you cannot help but act differently because you say so. Because it is a reflection of your choice and the trust in that choice. Yes?
Yes.
Now see what happens.
Can I ask you something else?
You just did. Would you like to ask something else?
Yes.
Oh.
With the financial situation, in order to, I was going to use that word again. Okay, in order to be an actress in the biggest and best sense of the word, I need more training.
Ah, another definition. Do you really? Or yes and no? Is it both? Do you not have already everything you need to be the actress you need to be right now? And by being that actress, should a role or should a situation come along that requires more training, wouldn't that actress just attract it without having to go after it? Is that just not yet another excuse of why you are not yet an actress?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. You are already an actress. You have all the tools you need for the first role that will come along. If you choose to believe it, express it as a belief, and act according to that belief.
Okay.
Is that too complex?
No, actually, that clarified a lot.
Does it feel different now still?
Yes, it does feel different.
Each time you feel insecure, understand, all right, all right, all right. In this moment, I am expressing the becoming actress part of me. All right, fine. I couldn't possibly make another decision unless I acknowledge what I am doing. Sit yourself up straight. Audition for yourself. I am an actress. Feel that feeling. Stand up, move about, and you will change everything. But remember, the definition of the type of actress you desire is an abundant actress.
Okay.
You had built into your definition the starvation factor.
You're right. You're right. Now, as far as the business is concerned, you're saying I could.
The business excites you and will continue to be available as an option. So when that is the most exciting option, by all means, go about it. The actress attracts whatever she attracts and may attract many different things that will enrich your life. And what excites you in that moment, though it may have nothing to do with acting, makes you no less an actress, but is part of the very training you are requesting through life, through experience.
And the corporation job, that means I can leave.
Now that is up to you. Are you running from it or are you too busy for it?
I'm too busy for it.
All right. That is far different.
Okay. Okay. Just one more thing. I had recently had an experience with psychometry where I've been able to have psychic readings for a couple of friends of mine. I've tapped into this energy that I seem to have, and I was wondering if you could tell me more about that.
Well, the idea is you are expanding your definition of yourself and will attract various reflections for doing so. That one is simply timely now, but it is my perception temporary. But that is up to you. Do not invest in what I am saying. Allow your excitement to guide you.
Okay, I didn't mean to go into it for business.
No, I understand, but you will explore many things. Life is the training, and exciting things will be more fun to learn.
Right.
You need not factor out the fun. You need not factor out the joy. You can all function just as efficiently, joyously having fun as miserably dragging along. And you actually have the choice. Oh, joy.
Okay.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Shooting. Yes, female.
Elan?
Yes.
Okay. I really wasn't going to ask you, but
Well, yes, you are.
but now that I got in, I have a son who's 18, and I have to. We're going around in circles because he is done very well in school, and he got accepted at wonderful universities, and he is now in a quandary because he can't really picture himself knowing really what those schools are like. It's mostly. I'm not sure if this is. I know so many of the answers you throw them back to us, but
Oh, do I do that?
But he wants to be an electrical engineer with computer science, and so he applied, not thinking he'd get him in an MIT, but he got in MIT. He also applied at Boston University because I just got a divorce, and I said, you know, you can get the trustee scholar to have everything paid for as far as tuition, which he got. And he doesn't have the name of MIT, but he also got in at Stanford and Cornell. So Cornell's out because it's too far. But now he doesn't know for his growth and development in life, because he's a Taurus, but he's got a lot of Gemini. He loves to season and sample things, and he's not sure. I think sometimes he doesn't have probably all the social skills. So sometimes I think he doesn't want necessarily this demanding. I think he thinks, but I don't know how it really is. If MIT's going to be too much for him, he can't decide. And I know it's his decision, but one day it's MIT, the next day it's Stanford, the next day it's Boston University, and then we go around in circles.
The idea is simply this. There is an excitement or a drawing of one particular thing, and then there is the idea of, well, I should do this and that.
Yeah.
If he can simply begin to trust which one he is drawn to, and trust that the reason that he is drawn is because it will benefit him most, that is the answer. And that will make more sense to him, perhaps.
Yes, that's nice. He asked me to see if I could maybe guide him. He wasn't sure if it was the East or West Coast too, but.
Well, he is drawn more distinctly to one.
He is?
Yes.
Does he know inside?
Perhaps he knows outside as well. Now, allow him to make the decision if you truly wish him to live the reality.
Okay. Am I influencing him too much? Is it because of mother? Maybe he's thinking. Yeah, because if he chooses to go to Stanford, it's further away from home. And.
Oh, I don't know, maybe. What do you think?
I try to give him, this is where I talk myself in and out of each of the schools too.
Ah.
Because I tell him different things that I think he should be aware of on that, and then before I know it, I'm also so I want him to think that I'm trying to be impartial. So I share the good points that I think I might see there, and I ask him to think about it. And if he hasn't thought about it, maybe consider those things. Well, maybe I shouldn't be saying anything.
Well, there are no shoulds or shouldn'ts. There simply is what is. However, what I will share is that he has all the information he needs.
And he will use seed, and he will make the right choice.
No matter what, he will make a choice, but that choice can be most representative of who he knows himself to be if you simply let him sit with the information that he has and make his decision and trust in that decision as well.
Is he in touch enough with himself? I think he is lots of times that he could know that.
It is my perception that he is.
Yes. He didn't seem to be too worried. By next Friday, when it first comes around, I'll probably have it. But then he sounds so unsure today.
All right. Well, it is May Day. Perhaps he may.
Okay. Anything else you can say about that? I guess that's it. That was my biggest concern. I don't want to take away from anyone else here. But
no need to be concerned. He knows what he's doing. You have done a good job allowing him to stand on his own 2 feet. Pat yourself on the back and allow the situation to play out.
All right, then I can sit back. And thank you for sharing that. I feel quite relieved. And
thank you.
That you're being here tonight.
You have done it all. I am simply a mirror reflecting back your own spark. I thank you.
Thank you.
Elan.
Sharing. Yes, female.
How many chakras do you have currently operating?
I do not so much separate myself in such a way. I can, in that sense, access this idea. It would be quite similar to your own physically. But in general, do not make the distinction.
So what you're saying, they're all integrated?
Well, there is the separation because I still am a physical being in the potential to experience it that way. But I generally choose to see myself as one whole instead of a collection of parts. So operate as an integrated whole where all are functioning in tandem. One is a representation of each other. Do you understand what I am saying?
Not totally.
All right. You are consciousness. Within that consciousness, you create in physicality body. That body can have particular qualities. You can delineate or separate out as you begin to expand from being merely a contracted physical being. As you expand and as you begin to explore your consciousness, you will understand that things can fall and be perceived in a certain way. As again you expand from having no awareness of any of this to having an awareness of the fact that perhaps there is more than meets the eye, what you call chakras become one of the, shall I say, points along the path of that expansion. But eventually you perceive the integration of all of these ideas and no longer separate yourself out into parts. It can still be experienced. It can still be drawn upon if there is a particular reason to do so. But in general, there is not in my reality.
Okay, I understand that. And another question is, what agreement do you have, if any, with the Pleiadians? Do you have an agreement with them to, I don't know, somehow aid, assist?
It is loose, if you would call it an agreement. There is an understanding. There is an overall respect, a common respect for, again, the sovereignty of your creatorhood. And again, many individuals will communicate as vehicles for any particular stream. Some may, in that sense, add their own perceptions, and others will be quite pure.
Okay. Thank you.
Again, there is an overall agreement of the respect. And we do not view you, again, as needing to do anything, as insisting that you do anything. So when we are presented, either individually or collectively as doing so, generally it is a coloration by the individual bringing it through. Is there something specific you are truly wishing to ask?
No.
'Tis up to you. I sense that there is, but it is up to you.
Okay, what about the the Great White Brotherhood? The Brotherhood of what's it called? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I understand the collective energy designation that you are referring to. What specifically are you asking? That would represent, in general, a more earthly presentation of consciousness.
Then I guess I'm not sure what I'm asking you.
All right.
Thank you.
Should you find more clarity and the ability to phrase it in a particular way, feel free to share again. All right?
Mm-hmm.
I thank you. Shutting.
Elan.
Mail.
Greetings, Elan.
And to you.
I wanted to ask you a question about a book that I'm reading called The Celestine Prophecy.
All right, ask away.
Enjoying. And it says that it's a book about the transformation that the world is going through, and saying that we're moving towards a place operating more from our intuition, and it will become a more harmonious planet and kind of heal the world that way.
Deja vu.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
All right.
Anyway, it says that that humans historically have been involved in getting energy from each other by being in competition with each other and trying to beat other people and stuff like that. And
Reflecting energy to each other, but I understand what you mean. Do proceed.
it says that a way that we can personally elevate our consciousness and improve our satisfaction with life is by getting energy from the infinite source, from just the infinite or whatever all around us.
Well, the recognition that you are the infinite and drawing upon yourself would be what I would add to that, rather than creating separation after separation after separation, which then creates the necessity for so much time to gather it back together. But that is one way to look at it.
Okay. Well, instead of being stuck in competitive things with other people and trying to beat them and stuff so that I can feel better about myself or something, how then, it says the way that we...
By the way, does that truly result in you feeling better about yourself or actually worse?
No, it might be a temporary high at best.
All right.
So
In other words, if your gain is at someone else's cost, does that truly, from your most focused perspective, actually achieve that end?
no, I know from experience it doesn't work,
Oh.
so I want to transform it.
All right, go right ahead.
It's okay. Well, it says the one way we can bring in more energy to ourselves rather than needing to get it from others is by appreciating the beauty in other people and in things around us, such as plants or the natural world and stuff like that. Would you expand a little bit on how we can do that, and also how we can connect, how we can kind of increase our own other ways to increase our own vibration or just feel more empowered, bring in more energy from the universe?
What you are saying boils down to feeling as though in order to validate yourself, there need be an outer reflection to prove to yourself that you are really worth it. The paradox here is that you come from a perspective that perhaps you are not worth it. Therefore, in a nutshell, as you say, though we have no nuts per se, unconditional self-love transforms this entire idea, for you are affording yourself that love to begin with. And then only can the external reality reflect it back to you. If you come from a position of not loving yourself, you will never truly find that love from an external source because you cannot escape from yourself and from the reality of who you choose to be. External reality will always mirror back to you where you are coming from. So you cannot ever actually find love externally till you, listen to the wording, grant yourself that love first. That is your own energy. You get no energy from anyone else. You produce your own energy and you use individuals as symbols for the quality through which you will produce and experience that energy. So bring it back to yourself. Self-love in and of itself is one thing. Unconditional self-love is something else. It means there are no conditions attached to the love of yourself, and therefore you cannot lose that love, and anything that you will think or do cannot actually result in the withdrawal of that love, for there are no conditions placed upon it. So entertain the idea, define within your consciousness the existence of the idea of unconditional self-love and begin to afford it to yourself. Then everything else will fall into place. Then, because you already love yourself again, external reality will reflect that love to you, perhaps by others seeming to love you, and also perhaps you will reflect to them that they are not loving themselves. And here is an example of an individual that does love themselves, so it is actually possible. You become of service to yourself through choice, through perspective, but also automatically become of service to everyone else. So start with yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it does. And in a long way, I'd like to ask you the mechanics of granting myself unconditional self-love. A second thing that the Celestine prophecy talks about is 4 control dramas that people adopt in childhood to supposedly get energy from others. Intimidator, interrogator, aloof, and poor me. And it seems that I, in adapting to a somewhat abusive childhood, used
Stop,
I was wondering if I-
stop. Listen up. All of that is available. The dance of perpetratorhood and victimhood is an available expression. All that you are about to continue to say assumes momentum, assumes that the past is the only reason you are the way you are right now. Again, if you assume that, I need not tell you, you experience that. But if you understand, this is how I am right now because I have the idea that this is possible and I will settle for no less, all of that becomes what was necessary to get you to this point. Same past, different usage in the moment of how you perceive it. Understand?
Yes.
Not satisfied.
Well, I wanted to. Okay. knowing that the past doesn't have to define the present, how can I adopt a new, letting go of my old drama, which was kind of perhaps getting sympathy from myself, saying, gee, what a tough life I have. And which is what I'm familiar with. When I let go of that, there's a void there. And I think I could fill it with additional self-love.
One moment. Letting go of that without first establishing who you are would, of course, seem to result in a void. But establishing who you are first and making that decision doesn't create a void. It creates a replacement, a transformation. Who do you wish to be? Do you wish to be the product of a dysfunctional past? Or do you wish to be a whole being now that experienced the seemingly dysfunctional past to discover who you are right now?
That's absolutely what I want to be.
You are it. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good.
Pretty good. Then you are not it.
I'm not totally it, because I guess I get hung up on mechanics and futuring and needing to know exactly how I must do this.
Do you wish to be a person who gets hung up in mechanics and does these things?
No, I don't.
All right. You have the choice. No but. You have the choice. Define clearly who it is you wish to be. Do not keep telling yourself who you were, who you do not wish to be later. Define it. Be specific.
Well, so often that requires a future projection of what I must be and become.
It requires a statement and a clarification. Perhaps the willingness to revise as anything would come to your awareness, but it is simply a statement, a choice. Just decide. It is that simple. When you decide that you are a result of the past, you are doing exactly what I am saying, but not according to preference. Do you wish to make such a decision?
Yes, I do.
Describe the being that you prefer to be. Not by saying, I am not this, I would prefer not to be that, but what you are, what you would prefer to be.
I am unconditionally self-loving, and I trust that what I'm supposed to be will evolve naturally if I just stay in the moment.
Do you live in the past or the future, or in the moment?
Often in the past and future.
No. I am asking you now to tell me who you prefer to be.
I live in the present. I live in the present and trust that I'll be what that I'll follow my heart.
Are you willing to trust that you are now that person?
Yes.
All right. Were you to begin to future and then remind yourself that you trust that you are that person, what would that person do if they began to future?
They ground themselves in the present and say, I don't need to worry about that.
You mean it's that simple? You mean to tell me that's all there is to it? Are you getting the point?
Yes. Okay.
For now,
That's fine.
that will do. All right?
Yes.
We will speak again, yes?
Tomorrow.
All right.
Elan,
I thank you. Yes, female.
thank you for calling on me again. The
Oh.
question that I'm now willing to ask is I read the book Bringers of the Dawn, and I think they were talking about me. I think I'm one of those people.
One of what people?
Oh, don't make me say it.
I cannot make you, nor would I make you do anything. I am simply asking you a question which you can always refuse to answer.
One of the Bringers of the Dawn that they're talking about.
All right. Are you one of the bringers of the dawn that they're talking about, or are you your own version of a bringer of light and dawn?
My own version.
All right. You have just told me it is, and that is all there is to it.
Okay.
But you need not attach yourself to any particular set of dogma. You can define what that means to you. All you needed from any particular symbol was knowing who you are. Now you write the book. You write the rules.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being so bright.
Thank you.
Elan.
Yes, female.
Yeah, well, I want to ask. I'm going through something. I had made a decision a week ago that to be a non-smoker and that it would be done effortlessly. And I know it can be done because I've made this decision about something else before, and despite everything that reality would have told me it should be differently, it was the way I had projected it to be, created it to be. This is not going the way I had created.
Well, do you continue to act as a non-smoker and reassert or realign yourself to being a non-smoker? Or are you seeing yourself as a smoker that is quitting and withholding the smoking?
I start seeing myself as a smoker that's quitting and withholding.
Back and forth, back and forth. That is why sometimes the resolve remains, and other times it would seem in that sense to be a struggle.
Right.
And simply understanding that you are doing this, perhaps one of the things that will assist you again is your own languaging. There are smokers and there are breathers. A non-smoker implies that the norm is smoking and the non is an exception to the norm. Do you understand the distinction? There is a difficulty in translation.
Yes, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. Especially for me, the non-smoking does have that.
Non-smoking still contains the word smoking within it, is the point. All right. Now, do you smoke or not?
No,
All right. Did this turn a key, or does it seem superficial?
it seems superficial.
All right. Thank you for being honest. Do you feel like smoking right now?
No,
All right. So is this relevant right now?
yes,
Why?
because I want to stay like this. I want to keep this where I want to be a breather.
Why do you not feel like smoking right now?
Because I can't, it's not accepted here.
Ah. So is that truly not wishing to smoke or settling for not smoking?
Yeah.
So do you perhaps wish to smoke right now?
Yes,
Now, would a breather wish to smoke right now?
no,
All right. What does that feel like when you entertain it for the fleeting moment that you are?
it feels good.
Is it someone who is not doing something they wish to do, or is it quite the opposite, someone who is doing something they wish to do?
Someone who's doing something with them.
Has this pierced the veil of superficiality?
I don't know.
All right. Play around with it. When you feel, should it ever occur again, perhaps it will not, as though you wish to smoke, acknowledge what belief you are expressing in that moment. Bring up the other option, not the non-smoker, the breather. Feel that and compare them. And the simple willingness to delineate and compare, one will feel far preferable to the other and assist you in accelerating this idea.
Okay, and that's not one of the things I'm afraid of is that I'm making it into an effort and I'm making it into a struggle.
Well, the breather would not do that. So again, if you are doing that, acknowledge it. Find what belief you are expressing, remembering that you contain both. Reaffirm the belief you prefer, and then trust in that and act according to the belief that you prefer. Does this feel more meaningful?
Yes, it does.
Oh, all right.
And I'm so scared because I know right now at this point it can go either way.
All right. The breather is not scared. So when you feel that fear, first of all, feel it. An emotion is a result of a belief you are expressing. Feel the feeling. Allow yourself to fully feel it. And then acknowledge the belief you are expressing. When you pose the alternative belief and assert it, you will feel differently. But do not deny the fear. Allow it to deliver its message to you. Dive into the fear. It is actually, again, the fear of the fear more than the fear that is actually causing the discomfort. The fear you simply feel, it plays out. All right, now what? All right, what belief must I have been expressing? This one. All right, well, I don't feel it anymore. I already expressed it. What belief do I prefer to express? I am a breather. How does that feel? Oh, different. Doesn't feel fearful. And you've transformed the fear, not denied it or attempted to get rid of it. And I remind you, there's nowhere to put it.
I think one of the things that what's making this hard for me is that recently I've gone through having like a whole belief system completely flipped around. And it's almost like everything that I believed was true, I see isn't.
Well, again, arguing this is true and that is not true may perhaps always feel that way. Accepting that both are true and you get to choose turns the key. Very different.
That might be why this is coming with them.
Well, it is allowing you more to explore what we are speaking of, foundational, fundamental ideas to assist you in your self-empowerment than actually any particular symbols, smoking included.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Elan,
Elan.
Male.
Elan, are you still physically in our galaxy?
At this particular timing, I am around, shall I say, my own home world of Esasami.
So you went back. The 3 scout craft had gone back.
Nice. I will be again visiting your proximity in what you call your June-July month.
Why?
Various reasons. One of them is to, as you say, observe a particular comet event.
So that's what you were observing before. Oh, I see.
I have made reference to this. I have not observed the particular event, though events leading up to it.
So the comet that's going to hit Jupiter.
That is one of the ideas, yes.
And that will send some sort of ripple effect on our planet?
That will do what it will do, and we will observe.
Oh. Yeah, my love to Ely.
I thank you as well. Now, I do not cut you off. I do not stop you from expressing yourself. I carefully coordinate our interactions. Are you beginning to understand through some of the sharings with others what we were discussing earlier?
Completely.
Thank you.
Elan.
Ace.
I have a question about my son. I've spoken about him with you before.
Ace.
He's scheduled for, he had cancer in his right leg and he had a bone transplant done.
All right.
And at this point in time, everything seems to be, or everything is, I won't say seems to be, everything is fine, except for the fact that now his left leg, which is his normal leg, is growing and is longer than his right leg, which is the leg with the bone transplant. We have scheduled an operation for him a week from yesterday up in Massachusetts to stop the growth in his femur in the hopes that this operation will correct the growth enough so that both legs will become close to even by the time he reaches his full height.
All right. Very creative.
Well, we've chosen this option because the other option would be to allow his growth to continue, putting a lift in his shoe until he reaches his total height, and doing a more major surgery, which would have to cut the bone down again and then allow it to knit together. And we've allowed him to have an input into this decision. And his decision was to go with the least amount of pain and the easiest option, which is this operation.
All right.
My question is, are we doing the right thing?
There truly is no right and wrong, simply different options. He is telling you that the symbol, the elaborate set of symbols in this case, that he will at this point require, with his current understandings about what you call life, is the particular symbol that he has chosen to allow himself to heal himself.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. You mean his input into the decision is what he feels is the best?
Ultimately, he heals himself. Due to the elaborate nature of how his particular scenario has set itself up, that is the way that he believes is most likely that he will allow himself to do so. Now understand, he factors out that he heals himself. He feels that this procedure will heal him. But ultimately, that is not the true mechanism. That procedure allows him to convince himself that now it's all right to heal. This has been done and it can heal. Do you understand the distinction?
Not quite. I mean, I know from his perspective, he feels that he is healed from the cancer. I mean, that part, I believe that he is.
Does he believe at this point in his understanding, as you know him, that he, without any intervention, could heal himself and have his legs grow at an even rate? All right. Because of this, and again, the elaborate set of symbols and circumstances that have played out in your reality, does he believe that the particular set of symbols, what you are calling the operation, will result in that normalization?
Yes.
So that is then the methodology through which he will allow himself to heal himself. And I am wording it this way to illuminate the actual process that occurs. Is this more clear?
It is more clear. The other possibility was an option of trying to do something with him with self-healing. And I haven't been able to explore that totally. And I wondered if that might be another way to go with him.
He is not the one exception to you create your own reality. So that is another option. But to say one is right or wrong is completely arbitrary. So therefore, it will depend upon his definitions, his beliefs, your definitions, your beliefs, and his relationship to them. You're asking me to make a decision for you that I cannot make.
I guess
It would be remiss to do so.
I guess that's what I'm asking. Okay.
Now, I can share that there is a likelihood, a very strong likelihood, that he will get the desired effect, no matter what he does.
I mean, I believe that he believes that he is healed of the cancer. And that was our biggest concern.
As of right now, he is, from my perception. Now, he can continue to create that or not, but he can continue to create that. Allow him to learn about some of the things we discuss as well, should you so choose. He creates from the moment as well.
All right. I have a question now also about an illness that has to deal with my mother, whom I've also mentioned to you before. She has had several relapses over the past few months where she needed radiation treatment. And it seems to me that every time her treatments are going well and that things seem to be clearing up, something happens to set her back. And I wondered if you could give me some ideas about what's going on with her.
Have you shared with her the idea that all disease is simply a message unheeded, and allowed her to entertain the notion of allowing the symbol to deliver a message and using the message that it delivers?
I have not done so, but I believe a friend of mine has.
All right. Are you not aware of it as well? Do you not have a particular relationship with her as well?
I am aware of that, and I have been trying lately to disconnect, I guess is the thing, to let her know that she needs to do the things that are best for her, and that I need to do the things that are...
All right, but that does not mean you cannot share what you understand to be true for yourself, which is being responsible to her, without needing to be responsible for what she does with it. It is no coincidence you have attracted the knowledge that you have attracted, and that you can provide that knowledge to her. If you are willing to simply render it to her without taking responsibility for what she does with it, in other words, share what you know without being hooked that she take it in a certain way, you will be doing all that you can do in the situation. And you will be giving your gift to her.
I guess that's the thing I have difficulty with, that sharing it with her and then not having her understand, or sharing it with her and then have her draw me into it.
Taking responsibility for the information and how she takes it.
Right.
Now I am presenting to you the option of not doing so. Simply saying, here is what I have learned. Here is what I have experienced. How does it sound to you? She will say, oh, sounds very good. Never thought of that. Or, bull. Either way, she will have defined herself still further, and you will have been of assistance.
I guess I'm afraid she'll say bull.
All right.
We'll be back to square one, or else even worse off than we were before.
Well, how could she be worse off?
Well, yes, you're right. She couldn't really be worse off than she.
If you will share the gifts that you have, also giving her the receipt to return them if she does not desire them, you will be of service regardless of her decision. That I can share with you.
Thank you.
There is no coincidence, or shall I say it is a complete coincidence, but no accident that you know what you know. She is experiencing what she is experiencing, and you have a unique perspective about it. Give her at least the credit to share it with her.
I'd like to thank you. I mean, everything that's going on tonight has really hit home for me.
Well, me too, and I thank you as well.
Elan.
Male in the back that has not interacted with us before.
You don't mean me, I'm sure.
You said it.
You mean tonight, okay. Thank you. Greetings.
No, you're right. You said it. I don't mean you.
Touche. Go ahead.
I am speaking to another channel.
Nora?
Elan,
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
you're the,
Oh.
yes, I am a channel.
I thank you. You sound like you mean it.
I do. I am.
You are. Yes.
I wanted to discuss a phenomenon that I experienced when I first did it.
Yes.
That experience was I had just fallen into it in a conversation with my mother. I just started channeling.
Oh, how exciting.
It was. At the time, it very much was.
Still is.
Had, when I came out of it, about 2 hours of aftermath activity. Half an hour of it was at full bore. The aftermath was one of perceiving our so-called reality is very flat, no depth to it, and a certain knowledge that it was not real.
Oh,
Further, I felt like I was rattling around in my body, not quite connected. From your perspective, what was this?
in allowing yourself to express that much more of your own energy through the form of what you've referred to as other entities, you took on or identified very strongly with a vibration that is slightly, shall I say, more dimensional than your normal third density or third dimensional reality. Now, different individuals will label this in different ways. From my particular perspective, you experienced how third density can look from a fourth density perspective. Now, individuals will have different terminology for this. Some will call what I am calling fourth density fifth. But in my understanding, fourth density is still physical. It is a more expanded physical dimension. Fifth density is actually non-physical altogether. And the entities that you are interacting with are, in that sense, physical or quasi-physical. So you experienced, perhaps temporarily, how third density might be viewed from a fourth density perspective, but you did so through third density eyes. Now, this becomes difficult to explain in its entirety, but the idea is, when I am viewing you from fourth density perspective, you lack a particular dimension that I see in my reality. However, I still see the other, what you call, three dimensions. You, however, have not been used to seeing a fourth dimension, and therefore the only way you could translate the difference was to seemingly create a one-step removal dimensional perception. In actuality, once again, this was perceived because you were seeing it through third density eyes as only two-dimensional. Does this make any sense?
Yes, it does.
It is not quite how it would appear to a fourth or a fifth dimensional being. It is different, but it is how one dimension less would appear to a third dimensional being. So you had an expanded experience through a contracted sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, what you call the rattling around phenomenon, very, very creatively worded, I might add, is simply, again, one of the experiences that one may create when they understand on any level that your body exists within your consciousness and not the other way around. When individuals experience what you sometimes refer to as out of body, literally all you are doing is shifting your viewpoint, but still within your consciousness. You are, in one sense, closing the eyes of your consciousness at one point within the sphere as an analogy of your consciousness, opening them at another point, seeming from that point to be out of the body, but in that sense still within yourself. And this can take many different gradient forms. The rattling or the shaking was the idea of shifting your point of view very slightly. Now, did that translate?
Yes,
All right.
something of a paradox, but it does.
Ace. Thank you. Now you're getting the idea. When you begin to look at things from a slightly expanded dimension, something arises as normal that you consider now to be abnormal, which is paradox. Paradox is allowing you to see that you are now expanding your consciousness to not need to assume that it has to be this or that it can be both. And that will appear from this point of view, as you say, as paradoxical.
Both and opposing.
Nice. But not opposing necessarily, simply different. Opposing is a judgment that is placed from this perspective.
No, but coexisting at the same time.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for your willingness to open up and share the energies that you are privy to with others.
And thank you for sensing that I was calling it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for calling me so loudly. We have time for but one more sharing female.
Elan, I was listening to the previous conversation and I have a question because I don't quite understand. My feeling or thinking was when a person channels, they do not recall any of the channeling process.
Understand that channeling is simply anything that you dive into with no doubt and no hesitation. And the gradient of this experience is absolutely across the board. What you are experiencing before you is sometimes referred to in your own definitional nomenclature as deep trance channeling, whereby the consciousness of the channel in that sense is diffused to allow me to communicate, and in that sense may not perceive the words. This is generally referred to in your terminology as a deeper trance state. However, there are lighter states, what you call a medium trance state, still very intense, still very connected, where the individual does hear the words. There is light state, where individuals actually have their eyes open and are speaking in a normal tone of voice, but receiving through their intuition certain ideas. But to expand the definition still further, you as a physical being are channeling, perhaps you can say, an aspect or a spark of your higher self. So your life is a channeling. Anything you do with no doubt, no hesitation is a channeling. Does this assist?
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. At this timing, allow me to thank you all for both providing me the perspective of a possible view from upon the fence, and at the same time, allowing yourselves to see that you can very strongly dive into your reality from that fence once you have partaken of that view. Seeing where you are has the value of allowing you to decide if you wish to remain where you are in terms of your approach or wish to transform it. Everything occurs right now. If you say, right now, I am the person I prefer to be, you are. And if you continue to trust that and act that way, you continue to be from this point forward, no process necessary, no long struggle necessary. You can continue to create that. And if that is what you will feel you require to decide in another successive now moment that you have changed, so be it. But that is the mechanism. No process actually alters you. You, at some point down the line, decide in a moment, just as I am sharing with you now, I have changed, and then you say, well, I can give myself the permission to have changed because I created this lengthy process and I'm through. That is one way to do it. But it is not the only way. So, I thank you so much for your willingness to share with me on this level of intimacy, and I bid you a most fond and loving, pleasant dreams, each and every one of you, and good evening.